Now in most cities, when you go south, you'll usually get a worse neighborhood. But in this particular scenario, it's quite the opposite. We met a demi-human called Queen Mariga. She promised if I beat her, she'd give me the Game Award pass. I also stumble upon the first non-hostile NPC, or actually a bug. Frankly, all they do is give me cookbooks. Is Elden Ring trying to turn me into the next Gordon Ramsay? It's really not that simple. So there's this haunted mausoleum that keeps moving around, and you're supposed to break it down by breaking the skulls on its legs. This is probably my favorite ASMR and satisfying video to watch on YouTube, next to people scraping off those hooves on horses. Unfortunately, I was giving 110% and went plus ultra just to help this poor creature, and I mean, he was shooting missiles at me to get my attention, and I kind of got stuck in between the second worst place you could possibly be in, which is the darkest side of his lower back. Now in this particular instance, I did mind getting squashed by this turtle, however when it came to Melina, I did not. I now know why Margot changed his name to Margot the Drained. I also came across this giant woman, of which I still don't know what her purpose in this game is besides very big Amazon women representation, which I am all for, and the only neuron activation on my mind is Snoo Snoo. I should probably get a doctor to look at that, but I know a lot of you have this illness too, so death by Snoo Snoo isn't the worst way to go. Since the new DLC release, I was trying to do it blind and figure out where I'm supposed to enter for the DLC. I rode for at least 10 minutes before I gave up, and then suddenly I realized why people were so racist towards goats. It's because this goat here attacked me unprovoked. This action is even worse than all of the dogs combined in the Soul series. So after being physically abused by that goat and having my imposter syndrome act up once again, I had to figure out what boss I needed to kill so I could enter the new DLC. Now I'd tell you a joke about an elevator, but it would be too uplifting of an experience. I unfortunately had to fight Astel once again, but that doesn't really matter. But this boss fight really helps me conquer my fear of bugs, because did you guys know you eat at least 10 bugs a year while you're sleeping? Who here would eat a spider? I would. And after playing so much Sekiro and Elden Ring, I think seeing creatures with more than 8 legs just doesn't give me that dopamine rush anymore. But luckily I find a ruin that is filled with blood as water, and I think this would be a vampire's wet dream. Kate Beckinsale would love it here. One of the great things about Elden Ring is that they always value a close-knit community. This blobber here probably agrees you should be able to take 2 seats on an airplane. And after such a long journey, I finally managed to come across the DLC entrance. Unfortunately, I still have to beat the boss. The Lord of Blood is a tricky little fella because he always causes blood loss for me. But it matters not to me, because the matter at hand is that we need to get to the DLC as fast as possible. I had to change my fit. You know how a woman thinks. New hair, new life. Or even a more popular one, new hair, new boyfriend. I come across one of the natives here, a chakram user, and it seems like they are not very nice people. I simply just wanted to spread the good word over Annie the Witch. And once again, Elden Ring puts the graces 5 meters next to each other. I am actively avoiding Endeavor because he's the number 2 hero in Elden Ring. And I'm not gonna get my ass kicked by him. I also come across the first NPC who literally has worms for brains. Probably has Sleepy Joe as a spirit animal. And of course I love fighting the dragons in this game, and I'm sure all of you guys do too. After fighting the 20th reskinned dragon in Elden Ring, we found the greatest collaboration we've ever seen. Elden Ring and Monster Hunter. Truly one of the collaborations of all time. Oh, and of course just importing all the movesets from Sekiro. While visiting a quaint village, I was attacked by the locals just enjoying my beverage. It seems they didn't take too kindly on people who liked anime, so I decided to use Fujin cuts and make them rage quit in life. After murdering those violent villagers, I come across their grandma, who is super sad because I murdered them all. My mood was instantly lifted when I found a new cookbook. I also come across a new aviary species, and with a giant wingspan like this, I'm very excited to see a tier list on why Tier Zoo thinks these guys are OP. Luckily I managed to find new fashion, the Gravebird armor, and might I just say, it's giving me that Eileen Hunter type of vibes when she was in college and all about the free spirit. Going through the cemetery, I found these blue diglets, and apparently if you actually go under the map or use a free cam, you will see their toes. Now we know what's under diglets, boys. After being so tired from doing all those scientific studies, I'd say it's about time to do some dungeons. This Black Gold Knight was pretty much our first boss, and it is quite a fierce opponent. But luckily through the power of anime and the power of the juntas, I managed to slay this pretty quickly in about 3 tries. I put on the new drip and I'm pretty satisfied with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't match my weeb aesthetics. I also come across a really chonky fella that seems to not put many words together, but he also kind of resembles the Onion Knight, so I probably won't slay him on the spot. Also just seems like a chill dude to have a beer with, especially with how dark and grim this world is. Fighting all these scorpions remind me of my favorite movie, The Mummy, especially with The Rock. As a kid, I honestly just wanted to pick up a scorpion and just chomp its face off. I'd say that's a pretty normal idea for a kid, and I probably most likely don't have any more underlying issues that I need to deal with at a therapist. Personally, I'd love to blame all of my issues that I have in my entire life on the game game For Honor. That game caused me so much grief and pain that I now have PTSD. I mean, look what I'm doing to the local villagers here. This is fun for me, where I just kick off people off ladders. This has feels of one of my favorite games, Metal Gear Solid, and of course For Honor, where you just chill on the ladders and ledge them as much as you can. Unfortunately, I did not hire a tourist guide when I went to the wrong side of town. They probably heard about me harassing the local villagers, and this is what I get for teaching people how to play For Honor. I'm honestly starting to feel like one of the baddies. Personally, I really enjoy the architecture, and I hope to visit more places like this in the world. What place would you guys recommend to see architecture like this? Because touching grass is really one of my priorities, besides touching the grace. And of course, because it's impossible touching this guy. On the bright side, we are able to pet this really nice looking lion. Oh my lord, why does Miyazaki like feet so much? I kid you not, Miyazaki is like Tarantino, where he's obsessed with everyone's feet. I'm not gonna lie to you, this first boss feels like a Bloodborne boss, where they attack 20 times and then you can land one single hit in afterwards. And then they decide to fly all the way to Uranus so you can't even hit them anymore. I realized that I was going to be in for a very tough time. Only 3 vials left and my teammates are all low HP. I'm not gonna lie to you, the first round is usually the worst round. Unfortunately, the second round isn't going well either. 2 vials and I barely got him into a second form yet. I really wish Ranny was by my side. Luckily, I used this one trick called the jumping attack, and that allows me to get much more riposte. Since this guy moves around so much and my attacks are fairly slow, this is probably my best bet. With a couple more jumping attacks, seems like Mufasa will never be able to catch a break. I found these 2 ogres and for some reason I could not befriend them, no matter how annoying and talkative I was. I guess to be an ogre's best friend, you really do need to be a donkey. Disney seems to prove that stereotype time and time again. I stumbled upon this cave and something caught me quite off guard. I was flattened even more so than Captain Marvel's booty cheeks. Honestly, I really shouldn't have skipped strength day. Dex was never the way. After constantly being harassed by these trapdoors, I finally had enough. I decided to take out my frustration on this gargoyle. Elden Ring always seems to bring out my other personalities when I am in a bitter mood. Now, the boss of this rune is actually and unironically a Death Knight with 2 axes. Unfortunately, I see a bunch of white and gold on him, so I can definitely tell that he is a poser. A true edgelord would be an all black. But after I told him that, he was not happy. I got him pretty low, but as soon as he grabbed me, I started to lose a bunch of HP and he started lifestealing from me, so I went outside and just took a break. There's times where you just have to get good and touch some grass. When I came back from touching grass, I thanked Miyazaki for giving me Nippon Steel. With this sword, I will finally be able to touch greatness. I just won't be able to touch women. This is my second favorite armor set in the entire game. Carrying stuff is just way too OP. I also sneakily managed to steal Rolana's button so I can sell this on eBay for all those simps. They cannot wait to get a sniff out of this. I'm looking at this boss here, Rolana, and she probably has the best fashion in the entire game right now currently. And I'm also starting to suspect that she is basically another Melina. My PTSD from that Rotussi is acting up. And I know I've been glazing Ranny a lot, but I just love the color blue. It's my favorite color. I feel like I need to dodge at least 20,000 moves before I'm able to land one thing, and then afterwards she can just counter, and I'll have to pray 5 times a day to Ranny to even hope to win this fight. With so much phantom range and AoE 360 degree attacks, I honestly started to feel like I needed to go on a journey and start a fellowship of the Elden Rings with him so that he could actually help me kill this boss. Because I'm sure she can take both of us at the same time in a fight, right? And so with all Elden Ring bosses, you have to learn the entire moveset, and that's just what I did. I just rolled and rolled and rolled and did one move for another 30 minutes, I would say. Because with this slow weapon, I really only have one opportunity to attack. For every hit, I lose a piece of my sanity. I honestly took a 10-minute break, and I did realize one thing that made me a lot happier. It's that she doesn't have a regenerative attack like Melina. And really, this made my day a lot better because it felt more balanced. And we reached that point in a boss where we start to tinker around with our talismans and also our gear. I put on a little bit heavier armor just to boost my damage and negation by 10 points and make me feel a lot better about myself. Because as great as it is to wear basketball shorts while it is super windy outside, especially with the breeze flowing through your shorts, know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta put a little bit more layers on. And in this instance, I really thought it helped me against Rolana. But after grueling what feels like a 20-hour gaming session with Rolana, I finally managed to beat her with a sliver of HP. Thank God I had those meat shields. Some of them will die, and that's a sacrifice that I'm just willing to make. You cannot get this sense of accomplishment in any other game that you've ever played. The only feeling that comes close to this is dating a hot goth mom, and at that point, you basically won at life. Since I was using a Nodachi, I felt like I was doing a little bit of cultural appropriation moment, so I slapped on the white reed outfit and called it a day. Hello, fellow Japanese. Dry your liberal tears. I went in this room to fight this golden hippopotamus, but Miyazaki said, no, you should fight the camera instead. Brought me back to those sentimental days where I played Ninja Gaiden and all you were doing was fighting against the camera when there was thousands of ninjas climbing at your face. This is also another boss that seems to run away every chance he gets. The neat thing is that this hippopotamus actually feels like a balanced boss. One of the more enjoyable bosses so far. Looks like a Bloodborne boss, but plays like a Dark Souls boss. I forgot that there were new fist weapons in this game, so I used a Google search and decided to find the poison ones, which were the closest ones to me. Just swearing an oath to never use my Nippon steel again, I threw away my clothes and decided to use my fist to solve all the problems that I had, even severe depression and being a broke boy. I pretty much embodied what it means to be a lesbian. Unfortunately, with less clothes, I felt a little bit too overconfident and took an arrow to the knee. After resting from my knee injury, I decided to take out my anger on these nerds at the library. I asked myself, what the heck were you guys doing this entire time? The economy of Elden Ring is just awful. The economy is collapsing faster than my fists are collapsing onto their faces. I can assure you that the unemployment rate has been ridiculously high over the past millennium. The Fire Knight's drip though is immaculate, and so I'm gonna be trying to farm for it because I'm tired of being nude all the time. But if I do manage to get tired of wearing the Fire Knight outfit, I'll go back to being a nudist and start a clan called Nudist Beach. I can already feel that this is gonna be a boss that I'm going to hate for the rest of my life. But I don't really mind snakes. Where are the snake waifus? Mytha. Mytha was a Dark Souls 2 waifu that a lot of people liked because she was a snake mommy. I can already tell that this is gonna be a boss where I have to dodge 30 moves before I land one single hit. Can we please just get Miyazaki to make Bloodborne 2 already? Or even Sekiro 2? God knows that I would love a character customization for Sekiro. That would be amazing. And I also can't wait to hear Mesmer's flame repeated every single time I die. In the embrace of Mesmer's flame. I may not even beat this boss before GTA 6 releases. My genius plan was to first poison him and then deal some normal raw damage while the poison drains him dry. I also realized that I could use a shield. Nobody is stopping me from playing this game with dodging only. If you want to play a dodging only game, go play Bloodborne. So after getting oiled up by Mesmer, I've had enough and decided to look at my talismans, and I realized that I have a Mimic Tear. I've been playing this game on hard mode the entire time. What sane person would do that? This bad boy is gonna oil up Mesmer while I give him the back shots. Never mind, he was wearing protection. And thanks to my Mimic, I was finally able to get him halfway. Thank you, homie. And of course, there's gonna be a second form, and this one's gonna absolutely destroy me. I have a difficult decision here. Do I want to be stuck on this boss for another 2 hours, or sleep for 2 hours? And hot take here, boys, Base Serpent Mesmer is so much easier than Mesmer the Impaler. I'm having a much easier time, but maybe that's because I'm in my flow state playing this for 3 hours straight. And I'm up at 3 AM because this game's got a hold on me. Whoa, dude, that was so close. Okay, that one's just like the first one. His first impale attack. No! No! So after about 4-ish hours, I managed to beat this boss, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was actually pretty fun, except for the first part. The second part is the most fun. And I can say with a straight face that oiling up Mesmer was not sus at all. My friend also told me that after beating this big Endeavor guy, you could actually get a parry riposte or Sekiro parry. I went ahead and tried to kill him. What I did first was try to poison him in Scarlet Rot and then bleed him as much as possible. This guy was a pain in my ass. So unfortunately, it is a physics flask, but it does last about 5 minutes, and that's plenty of time for a boss fight. I found another hunter as well, and he doesn't really speak. Maybe he's gonna take an oath of silence until he reaches challenger rank in League of Legends. Knowing most people though, you'd probably commit Sudoku before you reach that rank. I don't know what Mesmer was doing in his Providence, but these people are insane. Look at this homeless man I came across. He's nude, has a big ass machete, looks like a page out of London. I honestly wish I had beans on toast on my person so I could make this guy feel better about himself. Artorias! I found another tree that I don't plan on fighting. Looking around trying to cheese him, there must be a reason why they made me fly up this huge mountain. Realistically though, I think this guy just wasn't hydrated enough. I went back up there and I realized maybe I can plunge attack him, so I definitely tried my best. I'm usually not one for violence, but whoever created this monster needs to go and jump off a cliff because this boss is just not fun to fight. I'd rather play For Honor solo queue than fight this boss again. I enter this man's castle and he just starts giving me free things like a trinket kid and a map, I guess pretty privilege does exist. Here, as you can see, we have some hemorrhoids incarnate, and my god, do they look like they're in pain. No worries though, I saw a TikTok video on how to crack someone's back. I'm basically an internet expert right now. Realizing that I've been cornered by at least 3 black figures, I jumped down this hole for safety. If I wasn't paying attention here, Lizzo would have came at me and probably ledged me. Or even worse, sat on me to death. Frankly, I'm more scared that I would have liked it. It's honestly frightening how fast a chonky person can be when they're trying to eat you. With the way that this cursed blade labyrinth is moving, it kind of reminds me of Zafina from Tekken. And honestly, I might have to oil up these fists afterwards. Kinda got bored using melee only, so I switched to my magic build, and I changed my drip too. You can definitely tell I still have some unresolved issues against the Fire Knights. That's why I'm constantly beating him up with my greatsword. The main reason I switched to the magic build was so I can use Comet Azure, the new Kamehameha move. I'm honestly just stoked for Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, and this is just helping me cope. Running around this new map honestly makes me feel like Drake from Uncharted, and I'm just wondering where my boy Sully is. We found another albino wino, and it's honestly kind of cute this time around. Wait, is this actually a scorpion boss? Holy crap, dude, she's kind of, you know, she kind of make me act up. Stop hitting me, please. I just want to talk. Now, I don't mean to scare you guys, but remember what I said about scorpions in the beginning of this video? Yeah, well, I think I want to do it even more so now. I have 2 big reasons for that. She's probably laughing her tits off since she killed a guy that's oogling her. She's giving me Matarakon vibes, and I can tell that we're in the end game of life right now. When people actually start worshipping bugs, it's really Joe over for us humans. We are honestly cooked as a society. Honestly, I'm getting a little bit nervous that this might not be a female boss, but those worries slowly fade away as I start getting impaled by her constantly. Fortunately for me, I had the greatest idea of cosplaying Ranni the Witch and using more powerful magic talismans. Reaching the second form of the boss was much easier. She's still using like the same moves on her first form. No, dude, I was so close, man. This is like Blue Ball's Simulator. And in retrospect, this boss is quite fair and balanced compared to the other bosses that hit 20 times before they let you attack. Guys, I think I found Gorlak the Destroyer. No, I think this guy actually had Gorlak the Destroyer for breakfast. This lad right here seems to be aiming for the bushes. This blood right here is using Storm Ruler 2.0. I remember it being such a disappointing weapon in Dark Souls 3 when you fought Yorm the Giant. Miyazaki is the ultimate troll because he also did this with the Great Spear with the God-Devouring Serpent. Has special properties while you fight the boss, but outside of it, it's nothing really special. You're kind of just slapping people with a wet noodle. Great weapon design, lousy weapon. I entered this arena and this man started attacking me. 2 Bloodborne looking like fellas. And frankly, this guy looks like a pope. I thought Christians were supposed to be non-violent. And also, where the hell am I supposed to get these fist weapons? Because they look so much cooler than the poison ones. And I'm pretty sure Lena was behind me watching her boy Dane get cooked. Until she realized that she also wanted to get in the action too. Thankfully, I had Rolana's twin greatswords, and these things are just a delight. For the homies out there that have a lot of experience holding things with both their hands, this weapon is for you. Honestly, beating 3 NPC bosses is so much more fun than fighting someone who's caked up on meth. That's why everyone thinks hyper armor is a crutch. I'm looking at you, Hitakiri mains. I could tell from a distance this man was going to be a good Christian and a very balanced character to fight against. The end goal of Radahn is probably just to have a nice Christian family and spread the good word of Ranni the Church. It seems the Nightmare Radahn will always manage to make my day worse. I am not going to lie to you guys, I am having extreme anxiety while I fight this bozo without a shield. Especially without the 10 summons that I was able to utilize on the first fight on the base game. I'm really hoping I can summon Lobos Juniors at one point in this game. And at this moment in time, I realized that the deflecting hard tier would come in clutch and help me out tremendously in these dire times. Now we slowly managed to get to the point of where I just stopped trying to beat the boss and start learning the moves. And after dying so many times, I started to feel like I really peaked in high school. Oh boy, a second phase. I hope the second phase is easier than the first one. Miyazaki would never create a boss that would make my schizophrenia act up, but honestly, how would Miyazaki sell the DLC if they weren't including cock and ball torture?
Yeah, you brought it. Second phase.
What? I died?
What? Oh, wait, what?
Wait, what?
How did you, huh?
Wait, what?
Oh.
Wait, dude, I'm saved. Oh, fuck. I've been had. We almost got him. He's so close. Keep going. No. Oh, yeah,
you grabbed it.
This is so a Joe over for him. I think we got this. So you run and jump. Die.
Yeah.
He's doing his attack. Watch out.
I blocked it.
Dude, this regeneration is super helpful. Oh god, he grabbed me. That's the first time though. Oh, he's so funny. I'm gonna use all my stamina on him right now.
Oh, Ryu. Watch out.
Alright, die real quick so that it looks like I killed him by myself. I'm just kidding. Where'd he go?
Over.
I don't what I've never seen this move before in my life.
You died?
I died. Well, that was a shit ton of chip. Oh wait.
You get hit? No way.
I'm dead.
Order. Let us go together.
Oh.
I wasn't really paying attention, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, you're looking at me, not him.
Oh my god, bro!
We killed you again.
God.
Wait, did you not block?
I didn't block, I dodged.
You fucking idiot.
God damn it, dude, I'm fucking retarded.
No, even I don't have the confidence to fucking dodge that shit.
I don't know where he's coming from though, man. Okay, I'm blocking. Where is he?
Where is he?
He was right where was I supposed to block, dude. He hit me right next to me, man. What the fuck? I'm not gonna lie to you, this was pissing me off. The only reason I was sane here is that I had my boy Flurizity by my side. He's just one of those homies that will do anything for you as long as you got socks on. So when I was having trouble with this boss on his second phase, I called his ass up. I'm like, yo, I need more dudes. And we decided to use the Sekiro Parry Stone, lead with our rapiers, and the Scarlet Rod. And I just used a Great Shield because I freaking love Great Shields. Okay, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna start running. Where is he? I don't know where the light is. I blocked the second, I get hit by the first. Holy crap.
Great. Dodge.
I see. Alright, he's so
Goodbye.
Don't get Peterson. Thumbs down. And I only did it with a rapier. No great shield. And after watching this cutscene, I realized that Makilla is kind of down bad. And then of course within a millisecond, my boy Flu mentions that Makilla is actually a guy. Then of course my whole world shatters and I have to question my own sexuality while throwing up gallons and gallons of vomit. And I decide Makilla can be whatever I want him to be. So I type up his name in Rule 34.